Hi, Fred. We're going to do a discussion today about two articles that I found for you. One in the New York Times by Jane Brody, and everybody can just click on that and read it, about the over-acidification of our lifestyle that the American person leads, and also about a complimentary article about the over-acidification of the ocean and fishes. So could you please kind of give us your thoughts on that, please?
Yeah, no problem, Rory. Well, I have to go by my own experience with dealing with people and my own personal experience and the research that I've read. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, with the people I've worked with, which is probably 25 to 35,000 people, is that an alkaline diet has a lot to do with osteoporosis. Now, if you look at the world epidemiologically, all the populations that I observed over the years that ate a diet that was high in protein, didn't have enough alkaline foods in it, they might have been big and strong and had a lot of muscle, but they definitely had bone density problems, and besides other problems. My observation has been that in this country, we've been telling people to consume more and more dairy products. We consume more dairy products than just about any other country in the world, except for some Scandinavian countries who are right up there with us. And we seem to have more osteoporosis than anybody else, maybe more than all the rest of the other countries combined. As we increase the amount of calcium in our diet and amount of dairy products in our diet, we seem to run into more of a problem. That is not the answer in my estimation. And it's definitely the acid-alkaline balance of your body, in my estimation, is definitely a factor in developing osteoporosis. If you eat a diet that's very acid-forming, your blood pH is supposed to be someplace between 7.35 and 7.45. Your body will compensate. But if it's too acid, it's going to pull alkaline salts out of your skeletal frame, calcium, magnesium, and so on. I have no doubt about that, and I'm glad they're starting to do studies, because I'm sure the studies that are funded by the right people looking for the truth are going to bear this out. That in order to avoid osteoporosis, we have to be eating a plant-based diet to minimize the acid-forming foods, not to increase them. There's a lot of people today want to increase the acid-forming foods, like the proteins, thinking it's going to solve our problem. The world already shows epidemiologically that is definitely not the case. A study done at the China Project, done up at Cornell University by T. Colin Campbell, I think bears that out. A lot of studies bear that out. If you look at different populations, epidemiologically, you just watch them, all the cultures and populations in the world that seem to have great bone density are not eating a high-protein diet. And they're not even getting a lot of calcium. The Bantu Indians get about 1/5 the amount of calcium that we get in their lifestyle. They have very little osteoporosis. The key is to, in my estimation, to make sure you're eating a plant-based diet, that you're eating plenty of greens, that you're not overeating, because if you're overeating it on the right diet, you're going to end up with acid. You're going to end up where you're going to need more calcium. It's not one simple answer. What kind of, what I'm a little leery about is some of the studies that are done, they're just factoring in a handful of the variables. There's thousands of variables in the human condition, and that's why I like to approach it as a lifestyle change. When you approach it as a lifestyle change, the human body has the ability, through the process of homeostasis, to make all the adjustments. It knows what to do. I haven't seen too many people develop osteoporosis when they're eating the type of diet I think that prevents it. I'm doing it myself. Now, I've taken some nasty falls and had some pretty bad accidents. I should have a lot more fractures than I did. Plus, I'm still involved in a lot of athletics. And, for 80 years old, my skeletal frame seems to be holding together pretty good. Now, I don't take a lot of calcium supplements. And I don't think you need a lot of them. I think with osteoporosis, the big thing is vitamin D. And to make sure you're getting boron and all the trace minerals. Calcium might not be the answer. And you might not get enough from the sunshine. So I think they should be factoring all these factors into this equation here. Just to increase the amount of protein or decrease the amount of protein, that's kind of limiting the way the study is being done. But I definitely, in my opinion, I am very definitive and definite about the acid-alkaline balance of your body to help you prevent osteoporosis.
Well, Fred, that's wonderful, those words. Even in the article itself by Jane Brody in the New York Times, it talks about scientific literature that has found 2/3 of clinical studies show that milk, dairy foods, and calcium supplements do not prevent fractures. And it also is very supportive towards how fruits and vegetables do actually, that are low in protein, can buffer out the acidity from cheeses and meats. Obviously, we're not supporting that people overeat these products, but obviously it does support some of the aspects of what you're trying to propose during a healthy journey lifestyle change. Fred, can you just make some general comments about our friend, the fishes over there in the oceans and the over-acidification of oceans, and how in this article it talks about how when the ocean environment gets too acidic, a fish might lose its ability to smell and smell out predators and be able to not get away from being consumed by other fishes, so it lowers population. And also talk about the plants in the ocean. How does that help out with the acidity?
Yeah, that's very true. I'd like to add one more comment about what you said, though. Some of the foods that we're using are supposed to help us with osteoporosis, actually contributory towards the cause of it. So some people are making a big mistake. Some of the things that we think are supposed to help us are actually part of the problem. But getting back to what you said about the ocean, this whole planet in general is a vast ecosystem, but the ocean is a vast ecosystem. When you upset that balance that takes place in the ocean, the fish, whatever it is that has to live in the ocean, you're upsetting the nature of the environment that they need to proliferate. The plants, the different types of seaweeds, all the plants that are in the ocean, they provide part of this ecosystem. The acidity in the ocean, when you're dumping all the things they're dumping into the ocean, all these acid-forming things and the pollution that exists in the ocean today, what you're doing is you're killing off the plants. When you kill off the plants, what the plants provide for the fish that the fish need is extremely important. Then just the acidity of the environment itself. Without the plants, the fish are going to have a hard time proliferating. We are losing great benefits of what's taking place in the ocean today. The acidity of the microorganisms of the fish in the ocean is detrimental to them, just like it's detrimental for us to be too acid. They also have an acid-alkaline balance, which is optimal for them. We're changing that balance. Whenever you change that balance, the fish or the human being or the animal has to stress itself out in its chemistry to maintain a healthy equilibrium. The more severe that is, the better chance they have of dying or becoming sick. And plus, if you're eating fish or animals that were stressed out in their chemistry, I don't know how healthy that it really is for us. So the acid-alkaline balance is not only important for us, extremely important, not only for osteoporosis, for just about every other condition, because my personal belief is that almost all diseases begin with inflammation. Osteoporosis is just another part of this chemical process that derives from inflammation, the same chemistry. Same thing with the poor little fishes in the ocean. If we left them to their natural dietary adaptation, left the ocean alone, I'm sure they would do well. Of course, that's not being realistic, the way the modern world is today. But the key is to live as close to our natural dietary adaptation as we possibly can. And the same thing goes for animals. They are not in control of their own environment in the ocean. I'm sure if the fish were in control of their environment in the ocean, things would be a little different.
Well, thank you, Fred. And if you'd like to see any of our other video blogs, please go to www.fredbishyforhealth.com and give us your comments. Thank you.